Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is FAR270 Video Intangible Assets Part 2. So in this video, we will look at initial measurement. In the first video, we have looked at how to recognize intangible asset. So in this video, it's basically about how to give the value to your intangible assets for the first time. So most of the time when you have a new intangible asset, we will value it at cost and plus other incidental costs such as documenting fees or maybe legal fees for you to transfer the title from the other company that you bought it from to your company. But we have to look at certain situations. Let's look at the situation number one, separate acquisition. Separate acquisition is basically when you buy a new intangible asset from another company. So, as said earlier, we will record it at cost. So, let's look at one example. Let's say you buy a patent to use something that is owned by another company. So, you bought it from them with a value of 1 million. And plus, you need to incur other costs, which is legal costs to transfer the title. So, you pay another 200,000. So, the value of your intangible asset would be 1.2 million. So, it doesn't matter if you buy a patent, a customer's list, or maybe a prototype. Yes, prototype is considered as intangible asset because although it has a physical form, we are not just looking at that. We are looking at the discoveries and also the information behind the prototype. Next is business combination. Business combination is when your company wants to combine with another company. It doesn't matter when it is a merger or acquisition. The company that you are combining with also has its own list of intangible assets. But you need to remember that the company that you're combining with also has some technology that only they have, and also the knowledge that only they have, and the procedures that make them ahead of other companies, and also the reputation that that the company has. So when you combine, you will not just get their intangible asset, you also create new intangible asset. So your list of intangible asset combine with the other company's list of intangible asset, so you have a longer list of intangible asset, and also from the combination you will create new intangible asset. But this is considered as a complex and challenging task or process. So the new intangible asset created will be valued at its fair value. The next situation will be government grant.
Duduklah diam-diam di rumah. Just stay at home. Stay at home. Just stay at home.
A government grant is when your company is granted certain permissions or certain things that only your company can do when other companies cannot do. Okay, you are the only company who can supply textbooks to schools, for example. You are the only company who can operate radio and TV station. You are the only company who can do mining in certain area. So when a company grants you that permission, it is considered as your intangible asset. So this kind of intangible asset, which is a government grant, will be valued at its fair value. The next one will be exchange of asset. This is quite simple. You have an intangible asset. Let's say you have a building and the other company has a pattern that they are not using, so you want to exchange it. So just we swap it, and then how to value the new pattern that you receive. We will value it based on the assets being exchanged. Let's say the building is valued at its fair value of 1 million. So the new pattern will also be valued at 1 million. But in expense of fair value, when there is no fair value, we will value the new pattern received at its carrying value of your building. Let's say the building cost you 1 million a few years back. The accumulated depreciation is 400,000. The carrying value of the building is now 600,000. So when you exchange with the patent will also be valued at 600,000. When you look at the situation, separate acquisition is when you buy an intangible asset from company outside your company. Business combination is we are talking about the new intangible assets created when you combine with a business which is also a source outside of your company, government grant given by the government outside of your company, and also exchange of asset is when you swap or when you exchange whatever asset you have with an intangible asset from other companies. What about the internally generated intangible asset? The intangible assets that you are creating from inside of your company. Let's see what MFRS 138 says. Goodwill. Goodwill is the most common intangible asset. I know you have heard of Google before. It's basically your reputation, your relationship with your customers, your brand. So you want to recognize goodwill in your financial statements. So according to MFRS 138, it specifically prohibits, which means you cannot declare any internally generated intangible asset in the form of goodwill. Okay, let's see why. Let's say you have this, the customer relation, the brand popularity, sustainability, and also the trust that your company have, that and you want to declare a goodwill based on these items. Now the question is, which one? Which one is the source of your goodwill? Is it the customer relation? Is it the trust? Let's say it is the customer relation. Our customer relationship with the customer makes our company more profitable. So the next question is, can you sell your customer relation to other companies? Because one of the recognition criteria of an intangible asset is that it must be separable, which means that if you don't want to use it, you can sell it off. Can you sell that? The answer is no. So that's why goodwill cannot be recognized as your intangible asset. So the issue of identifiable and control. You can actually identify which one contributes to goodwill, and you can actually control the intangible asset. And also there is an issue of reliable measurement. How to value the relationship with your customers, how to give one value to it. So because there is no it is not identifiable, it cannot be controlled and cannot be measured reliably, so it cannot be recognized as your intangible asset. So what about other internally generated intangible asset? We have talked about goodwill. What about the others, such as your logo, your trademark, your customer list, your mastheads, and even your prototype? MFRS 138 also says no, you cannot recognize it.
Why?
What do you mean why? Because you can't.
Why?
Because you just can't, okay? Trust me on this.
Let me tell you why. The expenditures incurred cannot be distinguished from the cost of developing the business as a whole, which means you cannot separate it. Okay, let's look at one example. Let's say this is your staff, Mr. Salman. His job is to prepare the accounts, do financial analysis, and also to prepare the customer list. So this is Mr. Salman, which is paid 12,000 per month to do these things: prepare the accounts, financial analysis, and customer list. So, which one of the 12,000, what percentage of 12,000 is to prepare the account? What percentage of the 12,000 to do financial analysis? And how many percent of the 12,000 is to prepare the customer list? Okay, in your job description, you are required to do these things and you are given 12,000. So you don't know actually which portion is to do certain tasks. So again, an issue of reliable measurement. So the customer list cannot be recognized as your intangible asset. So again, let's look at the reason why expenditures incurred cannot be distinguished. So you cannot separate which one is to develop the company the company and which one is to develop the intangible asset. So do you mean that No intangible assets can be generated internally. If you have this question, the answer is the answer is yes, in the form of development. We will look at this in the next video. So again, I would like to remind you to read. So read the notes given to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.